Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Sounds like heaven.
Season 11.
Bum.
Bum. That's right, folks. We are working our way through Christmas in July 2024. It's our 11th season, somehow. Maybe. Probably. And Dragon, unless I'm totally going crazy, this is our penultimate installment for this year, correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Thank God. Okay. Well, this is a big one, folks, because if you've been following memoirs, at least following it enough to get to the TV portion, you will know that I have been watching through It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And ironically enough, this episode is the last one that I've seen. The last episode of season 6. And Dragon, we're talking a very sunny Christmas. What say you about this episode, sir? Because I've said a lot about It's Always Sunny in the past few memoirs.
Well, this one's a very memorable episode, as you can probably guess. A lot of people remember it. It's an unconventional Christmas.
I mean, there is one very memorable image that we could have used for the thumbnail, Dragon, but I something tells me that image isn't very Christmassy.
No, it's not.
And yes, Little Blue, thanks for reminding us. That's why we're doing 2 episodes in the same night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But yeah, so it's an iconic episode for that. I'll tell you that much. For sure, it's an iconic one. There's a lot of fun to be had, and we'll get into it. I really love the Charlie and Max side of the episode. That's where I think of like a lot of like this the rhythms that are theirs. I think it's really at its most on point. But like their story is the search for Christmas spirit story.
I like both stories almost equally, honestly. I think Charlie and Mac definitely have the heartfelt side of things, and then also, while everybody is going to talk about the couch scene in this episode, like that's the scene of this episode that's going to go down in like It's Always Sunny history. Dragon, I think Charlie's mall freakout is just visceral. It's just absolutely visceral, and I can't wait to get to it.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I love the stuff with D and Dennis too. I actually think that Glenn Howerton has a lot of really funny, like almost non-verbal moments where he's just reacting to things this episode. He's got a lot of really funny reactions throughout the episode. And then I also think that the payoff of the Dennis storyline kind of sweet. You know, not like super tug at your heartstrings like the Charlie and Mac side of things, but I don't know, you feel good for the guy for about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Kogias, that was me until like a few months ago, so, you know, you just gotta take the plunge, man. Season 1 is kind of the primordial ooze of It's Always Sunny. Frank Reynolds isn't there yet. Season 2, Frank Reynolds is there, but they're still kind of figuring out exactly what they want to do with him. Season 3 onwards, it's off to the races, buddy. It's a great time. Anyways. So yeah, Dragon, I think this episode might be perhaps my favorite one that we've done this year. With all due respect to Fishes is fantastic, but I don't think I'm going to rewatch Fishes in the same way I'm going to rewatch this. I mean, Fishes is a tough watch, and this is very much kind of like in the comfort watch variety. But what I love about this episode, Dragon, is that it's got a little bit of everything, right? It's got like it's got the classic It's Always Sunny debauchery. It's got one of the most well-defined Scrooge storylines that we've covered on Christmas in July in a minute here. But it's also got the heart. It's got, you know, there's so much to get into. So let's any other pre-ramble?
Not really. Just I guess contextually, it's season 6. This is after the gang. After specifically Dee and Dennis have learned that Frank is their non-biological
Biological
father. So that's kind of where we're at here, and that's about it.
All right. Teddy says, Frasier, I sleep. It's Always Sunny, I wake. I mean, 2 different shows, but all due respect, like full respect for you waking for Always Sunny. Happy to have you, Teddy. All right. So let's get things started, Dragon. How do we kick this off?
Well, with with a black screen and white text on the screen, that's how we always kick off It's Always Sunny episode, Tiki. We say it's Christmas Eve. In this case, I guess the morning of Christmas Eve. So, it's Christmas Eve at Patty's Pub. The gang's decorating trope. Mac and Charlie wearing Christmas attire trope. Hanging a wreath trope. And let's see. So we have the whole other left conversation. Of course, a lot of this you have to imagine. There's a lot of improvisation that's going on here. Is the whole no, you're left, no, your other left.
There's some improv in this episode, but I think this episode is really tightly wound. I think there's probably less improv than there usually is.
Well, sure. I'm just saying, like
Chekhov snow machine, Dragon. Chekhov snow machine.
Yeah, Chekhov snowblower. A Christmas cannon, if you will. Chekhov's Christmas cannon. All right, so Dee and Dennis, they enter. They turn off the jukebox and everything. The Christmas music is playing, another trope. And they are they're not in the holiday spirit at all. They detest Christmas. Because Frank ruins Christmas. He's ruined Christmas for them irrevocably.
And, of course, the go-to assumption would be that Frank gets them terrible gifts. Ha! If only it were that simple.
Yeah. Also, we should mention they call that a trope. The whole the last-minute decorating thing. That's
true.
Kind of their tradition. Along with throwing rocks at trains, which we kind of foreshadow there.
I love how that's going to come back in a really heartfelt way. That's one of my favorite elements of the whole episode.
It's like a trashy South Philly kind of South Philly Christmas tradition.
I mean, the whole thing about this show is that the longer the show goes on, the more trashy and debaucherous these people get.
I mean, this episode does coin one of the iconic Frank lines, which basically couples to that. The whole this is, I don't want to be buried. Just throw me in the trash.
Right.
There's an obsession with trash with Frank Reynolds. The whole, even you saw the Trash Man episode, right?
Of course, yeah.
I'm a trash man.
Like hanging out in sewers and under bridges and shit like that.
Yep. You gotta pay the troll the troll toll.
Oh man. Oh god.
Oh boy. Anyway. So so Christmas morning, that's what they're going to do. Meanwhile, we learn that Dennis and Dee, they're the Scrooges, and they're not Scrooges, but they're not the Scrooge.
Dragon Frank has got to be the Scrooge.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That he's I'm saying he's the Scrooge. They might be Scroogelets.
They're Scroogelets. Let's call them Scroogelets.
You like Scroogelets, or are they Scroogies?
No, I like Scroogelets.
Yeah, they're Scroogelets. They're spawned of Scrooge.
Scrooges that have been spawned from the influence of a even meaner Scrooge.
Yeah, if Scrooge weren't a 60-year-old man, they'd be Scroogelets. All right. So, let's see. Anyway, so Frank always welcomed amazing presents, which he would basically take away in some very horrible and emotionally scarring ways. Right. Then, of course, Charlie is now being looped into this, so he has this walkie-talkie from Frank. Basically, he's been instructed to tell him when Dennis and Dee enter the bar. So Dennis basically learns over the walkie-talkie, Dennis, you're gonna want to come outside. Your dream. I got your dream gift. It's too big to bring into the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So then this is where Glenn Howerton's reaction here is priceless. So he doesn't have it's not like a big speechifying. Of course, when Dennis Reynolds rants, he rants, and I love that he doesn't rant here, but you can see the horror of no. He just knows that no, don't tell me the dream gift is out there. So he goes out there, and we have the yellow Lambo.
Oh man, and all of Dennis's reactions regarding this car, Dragon. I'm not a car guy,
The
But I will.
Countach.
I would be lying if I said this didn't look like a sweet car. It really does. It looks like a great car. And I feel Dennis's pain every time it cuts to him. The modifications bit we're gonna get later. Dennis goes on a journey with this car throughout the episode, and I love it.
He does. I got to admit, I have a thing where I love the body of the. And I heard they're going to discontinue this, which is really sad. This is a recent development. I heard at least the Mustang and the Challenger. They're discontinuing because they're going to be focusing on electric cars. Which is tragic because those are beautifully designed cars. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah, just the emergence of Frank in this yellow Countach Lamborghini in an all yellow racing outfit,
saying the line, "Merry Christmas, bitches!"
Well, that's great.
And another trope that was also in Frasier, technically, although this one lasts a lot longer, is the Christmas-fied opening. It's nice to see Philadelphia I was going to see Seattle. It's nice to see Philadelphia all decked out for the holidays in the intro. Nice little change of pace.
There's a crossover for you.
Dude, seriously, that would be amazing. But the It's Always Sunny characters would just eat Frasier and company alive, though.
They would. I mean, Frasier would be Frasier with either Frank or Charlie alone would be in a fetal position.
Oh my god. Frasier and Charlie. Oh no.
Now, it is funny. We have had somewhat of a crossover before with It's Always Sunny and with another one of our beloved shows. So I wouldn't say it's impossible.
All right.
You haven't gotten there yet. I don't want to spoil it for you, man.
It's not the Jersey Shore, is it?
No. Well, they go there, but no, it's not that show.
Okay.
Anyway.
I believe that's the episode with the rum ham, right?
That's the episode with the rum. Yeah, that's the one with the rum ham. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's season 7, episode 2, if I'm remembering right.
It was 6 or 7. If you haven't seen 6, then yeah, it's in 7.
No, I just got through with 6, so yeah, it's got to be in 7.
Well, there you go then. So it's probably 7 or 8. I'm pretty sure it's 7. Anyway, so let's see.
Can I like all the focus goes on to the Lambo, but can I just point out just the absurdity of Frank buying the fucking expensive purse and then just filling it with cheese balls and malt balls.
Cheese curls and molten milk
cheese
balls.
Curls and malt balls. He's gonna ruin the lining, Dennis.
Yep. Well, it's already ruined. There's no salvaging that bag.
No, I know that.
Yep. I'm always
Okay.
very
so now we go
about that sort of thing. About the whole
about the bag thing.
Yeah, about the bag, like the whole is the ruining the interior of the bag.
Right. Well, let's not go comparing an Italian sports car to a handbag, D.
$250,000.
A $250,000 Italian sports car. All right, so let's set up. So we set up that they want to use Frank's old business partner to get back at him. Maybe do a little bit of a Christmas Carol on him.
Yeah, so we mentioned Frank's.
Yeah,
we mentioned Frank's ex-business partner, which basically puts that into play, and then we basically sounds like Frank doesn't think he's alive anymore, so that gives him the idea of let's Christmas Carol him as a revenge.
Which is a Christmas caroling? Like, I feel like that's a trope, right? Like, just setting up a Christmas carol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Trope.
Okay, so meanwhile, what's going on with Mac and Charlie?
All right, so they're in the Christmas spirit. They're hanging out, and they go to Mac's childhood home, and they're going through all the toys of Christmases past, and they're looking through them, and they're looking for the Omnibot, which is, by the way, the Omnibot really is cool. It's like the '80s robot from the Muppets 2011.
And the '80s robot from Muppets 2011 is essentially Rob the Robot. So this is essentially Rob the Robot.
There you go. Anyway, so then we have this is great and dark. The Captain Caveman.
Both the flashbacks are super great and super dark in their own way.
Well, sure, but also like I'm sorry, it's building to that. The whole we're building to that too. So the whole like
Yeah,
the
I mean,
captain,
Charlie Kelly is just he's a fucking menace to animals, dude.
the fact that he would basically take the Captain Caveman Club and they would shave the dogs to put on like a beard like Captain Caveman and then
Oh,
beat
God.
the dogs to death, or at least here's the thing. Not even beat them, just bash them, possibly to death, with the Captain Caveman Club.
Okay, Teddy, what you're asking me right here, I feel like that's almost kind of like a what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of question. They're asking if Always Sunny's main thing is that it's a good comedy show with the lines or the way that the actors deliver the lines. I feel like you can't have one without the other, honestly. I feel like maybe if given the choice, it would probably be the actors because I feel like the show wouldn't have the right chemistry without the actors in place. But yeah. Also, we have to talk about just Charlie just being a complete and total moron with the Simon game.
God.
Okay, now it threw me 3 colors, and I have no idea which ones.
It would be funnier if Charlie was colorblind.
That would be funny.
I don't think he's not, but I'm just saying, can you imagine though? All right, anyway, so yeah, so Simon, Captain Caveman, Charlie stinks at Simon, and we find a home movie. There's a home movie with the robots, with the Omnibots. Which I want to know. I have one pet peeve with this episode. I want to know if it bothered you.
Okay.
When we do the when we go with the tape, literally when we go with the tape, we break the found footage aspect.
It didn't bother me too much.
I'm just saying, it's like we have a perfect setup for that. We have the camera, and then we like, okay, here's them filming it, like, and we don't.
Yeah, but I feel like the reason you would want to do that is to just kind of like insert yourself more into Mac's situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really feel what it's like to be in his shoes in this kind of situation.
I guess.
Z and K says Child Mac is adorable and hilarious. He's the best cast of the Flashback Kids. You know what my favorite thing that Child Mac does, Dragon?
What?
He does the karate moves out of sheer excitement for getting the present.
Yeah, he does.
Which is something that he actually mimics, like at the end of the episode. That's a callback, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm. It's his version of the happy dance.
Right, exactly. And I love that he's wearing a Cobra Kai t-shirt and everything.
I love the implication there being that, again, he very much took Johnny Lawrence as the good guy in that movie, which, again, we had a whole show out of.
So a whole show out of that, yeah.
I just love that. That's the wrong
the same early shriek and everything. Yeah, I caught that on my rewatch of this episode. It was like pound for pound the same thing.
I love the dark layer of this, which you can kind of see why Mac's dad hates him in this scene. So basically, I love this idea from a writing standpoint. I love this so much. The idea that we finally watch this home movie and we flash back and we see that the McDonald family, lied to Mac and gave him the presumption that Christmas tradition is going into other people's houses, robbing them of their Christmas presents, full on Grinch trope, by the way.
right.
And there's this basically everyone. That's how they do like a white. Basically, it's like Dirty Christmas or White Christmas or like White Elephant.
But I love the conceit where like Charlie and Mac both have their own like very fucked up Christmas traditions that their parents made for them.
Yeah,
just to cover up the debauchery.
So that's hilarious.
Also, can we just address this is like maybe the one time in the whole series we actually see Mac's mom like show some sort of emotion.
Exactly. Oh, by the way,
it's almost like disquieting.
Oh, by the way, fun fact, because now you've seen the show, I can tell you this, and it's actually going to mean something. Mac's mom, she's in Luca.
Oh, really? Is she? Who is she?
She's Luca's grandma.
Oh, nice.
The one who says, like, I go to the town all the time. That's her.
All right.
Yeah. So, so the point being, we have this hilarious thing we do with both characters, where in this case, it's Charlie who's saying, that sounds like breaking and entering.
Yeah, I love how both of them have to kind of, like, break the news to the other one.
By the way, the stuff they stole, they have the camcorder, which he presumably was stolen.
Uh-huh.
The cashmere sweater, the stereo, and then of course the Cabbage Patch doll, which Mac has the girl shriek for. Which again, you get a sense that's why his dad hates him.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, so then they have to hightail it out of there. So the plan now is like, well, your dad's like a thief and a murderer who eats people. So maybe he's not the best barometer there. Let's go to my mom's house so we get to the Christmas
By the
spirit.
way, I still haven't gotten to the episode where, like, I know Mac's real name is Ronald McDonald. I hope there's actually an episode that like goes into that a little bit more.
I mean, it's more like a reveal of that. I don't know how much of a focus there is. It's just kind of a running gag ever since we revealed, just like Ronald McDonald. It's just kind of funny.
Okay, I just think it's like the way I view it is like the parents have always hated the kid like ever since his birth, and that's why they gave him that name.
I mean, I forget how fine a point they put on that, but I don't think that's not far off, Tiki. If not, it's like it's very like unofficially kind of there, just like, well, I mean, yeah, they really, they don't like him.
right.
I mean, they really hate his guts. That's the thing. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so let's see. Well, they're heading over to Charlie's mom's house. We have Dee and Dennis. They're basically coaching. They're visiting Mr. Hamilton. Which I'm trying to. I don't know if we skipped over when they actually go to. We skipped over this. Earlier, they visited Mr. Hamilton, who seemingly kindly old man who used to be Frank's business partner. They that, as far as they knew, Frank screwed over and took
religion, a turn to religion trope.
Yep, trope. Yeah, it's a religious Christmas after all trope. Yeah. And so basically he had a near-death experience. So he saw the light, and he's basically he forgave Frank, and they basically says, "Okay, I'll do your Christmas Carol revenge plot if I tell him about the Lord and everything." At the end, they say, "Oh yeah, sure." So now getting back to where we are in the episode, so he's roped along, and he's got all these chains around him. He says, "Okay, look, just we got a smoke machine here."
Mm-hmm. I'm at the start of season 7, Teddy. I'm like a couple episodes into season 7.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead, Dragon. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember. I think It's Always Sunny is at season 14 or 16 now.
I believe it's 16.
That sounds right. Anyway.
So I'm not even to the halfway point yet. That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And unlike The Simpsons, from what I've heard, the show's never really dropped off that much.
That is true. What helps, again, Tiki, is that, like Curb, only go 10 episodes.
Uh-huh.
That helps them a great deal.
True.
At the very least, I forget if it's always been 10 up. And you tell me, early on, has it been 10 episodes since the start?
I think some seasons were like 13, I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's the thing. Since they cut at a certain point in the later recent seasons, they cut down to 10. I think the pandemic having to do definitely with a little bit of that. But around a certain point, they cut back to 10. I think it's a budgetary thing where if they keep it to 10 episodes, FX doesn't have a problem with them getting renewed. I think that's kind of the code that
Z&K
they
says season 7 is when it cut down to 10.
Okay. Well, there you go. At the very least, my theory is that was just kind of they kind of hit the code there. If we keep it to 10 episodes, FX will be more inclined to keep us going.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it just kind of is a happy accident, or maybe it was a plan. Who knows? Anyway, so, anyways, the point when they're coaching them on how to haunt Frank, they have the smoke machine. Frank, now importantly, there's a nice little foreshadow here. Frank is asleep on the couch watching parody a discount Rankin Bass.
Yeah.
Trope. Rankin Bass or Rankin Bass adjacent. He wakes up to smoke. Fire! And he's like,
I love how much he freaks out at the fire, man. He's totally like unhinged at this point.
Let me ask you this. If they did an actual Mr. Plinkett movie, would you want Danny DeVito playing Mr. Plinkett?
No, I would want Mike Stokowska playing Mr. Plinkett.
I'm saying if for some reason you couldn't get him, who would you,
Dragon, I don't know about Danny DeVito, because Danny DeVito, if I would just see Frank Reynolds, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean. Frank Reynolds is so close to Plinkett. I mean,
Yeah, a little bit. Except Mr. Plinkett is a lot more pathetic than Frank Reynolds.
That's true. Okay, anyway. Also, Rich technically plays Mr. Plinkett, so not we have the voice of Plinkett with with Mike, but the other one is technically the one who physically plays him as Rich.
All right. Well, look, those guys are on Smiling Friends now, so it's like
it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he thinks as far as throwing a chair through the window and everything. Hamilton comes in there, and this is great. He's freaked out. A ghost! And he grabs a golf club about to beat him.
Deandra, look out!
So I just love that. I love that he legitimately believes it's a ghost, like without a second's hesitation. And he's still unconvinced. Until they actually sit him down and spell out he's not a ghost. Like I love it. He would have believed him at least to a certain degree.
It's almost like the ghost thing worked too well.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so it's a disaster. They kind of give up the ghost. One could say.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, so they put in a tape. It's Christmas of '86. The other empty box campaign, not the Star Wars one, but a different empty box.
A much more disappointing and disheartening one.
Let's just say, unlike Snoopy, they do not appreciate opening the empty box.
Oh my god!
See, that's the thing. Frank could have saved this if he just put a bunch of little boxes. It would have been far crueler, but it would have been like a whole nother thing if he's had all these empty boxes that were wrapped though inside the box.
Right. Maybe next time. Maybe next one there will be an actual present. You never know.
So, terrible Christmas trope.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Yep. Also, bad father around the holidays trope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
so,
then, like, if we hadn't acknowledged it, let's just go ahead and put it on the board. Frank Reynolds is absolutely our Scrooge here.
Yeah. Scrooging it up. All right. So, Frank is loving this. He's loving reminiscing. He's looking at this is like,
oh, this brings back happy memories.
I laugh so hard at that. Like he's like, oh, this is great. Anyway, so Eugene, tell him how messed up this is. He said, well, Eugene taught me this. He taught me the fake out, which again is also foreshadowed for the third act.
Oh yeah.
All right, so they're moving this onto the road. Meanwhile, back in Charlie Land, we got Charlie and Mac. They're visiting Charlie's mom, who there's seemingly a happy-go-lucky traditional family Christmas.
Dragon, Charlie's mom scares the crap out of me, man. Just the actress.
Really?
Because she's so happy-go-lucky that it's almost like kind of like an Arrested Development thing with Charlie. Like, this woman being so protective of Charlie is exactly why Charlie turned out the way he is.
Well, it's also lack of father, but
and getting into a healthy glue habit at a very young age, as we're about to go into.
Yeah, that didn't help either. The point being, Charlie has problems, kids.
Charlie Kelly has one or two issues, maybe.
Oddly, though, of the bunch, there's a debate, and I think as you go again, when you get to my favorite episode of It's Always Sunny, Teague, it's one of my all-time favorite episodes. You can make the judgment call yourself. Possibly the sanest of the bunch.
I dead ass just don't believe you, honestly. Not at the point of the series that I am at, Dragon.
When you get to the episode Charlie work, you will see what I mean.
Dragon, I just watched the Rat King episode, all right? I just watched the episode with the spaghetti bag, okay?
Yep. I don't know. That's the thing. They're all deeply disturbed individuals. We should say that. Just first off, I mean, you've seen Dennis at his worst, so I mean, I think you've seen a little bit. You've kind of gotten an idea of Dennis at his worst. He's gonna get more, unsettling. But just that's what I'm saying. Dennis is like presenting.
I think the most unsettling Dennis scene that I've seen is obviously the entirety of the Dennis system, but then also the boat episode with the whole with the the implication thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, that's what I mean. Okay, that's the start of it, really, for Dennis. That's when Dennis really starts to go off the rails. Like, oh,
right.
I'm not saying in a bad way. I'm just saying that's when we really get to see. Oh yeah, so Dennis presents himself like Jerry Seinfeld, but he's like from the Seinfeld show. But in reality, there's something a lot darker there.
Oh yeah.
Like he presents himself as the sane straight man in the room, but there's there's a lot of ugly. There's kind of a Ren Hoek energy to him.
Definitely
A lot of Ren Hoek there. Anyway, so
The implication is such a dark but great bit. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
The implication, Mac, because of the implication.
Yeah, he'll Natalie Wood.
Oh God.
Yep. Okay, so Charlie's house, his mom's house, very traditional Christmas decorations. You got the tree, you got the gingerbread cookies, a lot of trope.
I'm gonna go make a gingerbread man for my gingerbread boy.
It's adorable.
Also, I love the Charlie and his mother bonding over Christmas vodka.
Yeah.
Glug 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 glug.
So this is again, alcohol or not, this is still overall a healthy Christmas. It would seem at first.
At first.
So then, I love how this starts. I love that it's like a simple. You'd imagine a faux pas. Just this the moment of like, oh yeah, that's when the Santas come over. Like, wait, Santas like plural?
Yeah, dude, the Santas. It's like the best part of Christmas.
God, I love. Now here's the question I have for you, Tiki, because we don't see it, but he's talking about it's like it's still an annual tradition. Do you think this is still happening?
I would hope not. I mean, I would think if it's still happening, there'd be Santa showing up at her door like while they're here. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I don't know. It's just I think I don't know. I think they showed. I think it's still going on. I think they showed up during a lull.
I mean, Charlie kind of implies that he's like expecting them.
Yeah, that's the thing. That makes me think that it's still happening.
Yeah.
So let's just say
the darkest element of this episode, bar fucking none for me, is the glue thing.
Really, that's the darkest element of it.
That's the dark dragon. Think about it. The glue thing fucked up this man's whole life. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it weren't for the glue thing, he would probably have his mental facilities like way more taken care of than they are now. I don't know, man. It's just there's something just so tragic and dark and yet kind of hilarious about like kid Charlie just sitting on the couch and getting high off glue for the first time as an escape from, the situation going on upstairs.
Now, to be clear, the presumption being this gave him the idea to do this more often, right?
Well, yes, I would think that the assumption is that this is what got him hooked on the glue.
No, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like an annual thing where they keep bringing him glue. But yeah,
I don't know. I think it's incredibly dark.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. So basically, we have this flashback, basically explaining what Charlie's like going into the story about what happens here. He's revealing that a Santa Claus would visit, bring him a gift, and then go cheer up his sad, lonely mom. Mm-hmm. and it would keep happening all throughout the holiday, not just like annually, once every, right. That's what I'm saying. If I read it right, it's like there was more than one coming over like during.
There were definitely more than 1 year that it had happened. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, when he's going through this montage, it's not like just annually there's like one Santa at the door. It's like there's like because it sounds like there's a train because there's like a sauna up there.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that the little person who shows up as the elf, I'm pretty sure he's from Nightmare Alley.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think he's like the little person that's friends with Ron Perlman in Nightmare Alley. Anyway, so but yeah, so we have we reveal that Santa Claus are visiting Charlie's mom and doing a lot more than just spreading Christmas cheer. And we then have like the to me what's more unsettling is child bottomless elf.
Yeah, that's a little traumatic too.
And it's kind of funny that we have kind of a thing with height, kind of height challenged nude men in this Christmas special.
But there is the implication that because Charlie was like high on his ass off of sniffing glue, that he probably doesn't remember the elf is as disturbing as it actually was.
Well, it comes back to him later in stop motion.
Right.
Anyway, so Mac again. I love Rob McElhenney here. By the way, friend of Ryan Reynolds, and he had a cameo in the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, but he was cut. The gag is Ryan Reynolds cut him from the movie.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a TVA mask, so it's unclear if he's actually cut or not. But it's saying I guess there's a chance he's probably cut, but who can tell?
Mhm.
Anyway, so Mac explains that Charlie, based on the story you just told me, I think your mom was a prostitute. Those Santa Clauses were running a Christmas train on your
Oh
mom.
god. And then Charlie, he's like, he's in denial at first, but then the second he mentions the whole, well, they come and they give my mom money, and no.
So he's not. You can probably guess he's not taking the news well.
Yeah, as ZNK says, it's like the death toll when he puts it all together, and the journey of all his no's.
And it's a white Christmas after all.
I love the shot of like his mom practically dancing in the kitchen, making the gingerbread man, and Charlie's looking at his mom like, no.
So that's the gag with Charlie's mom. Such a sweet lady, yet she gets wrapped up in so much dark stuff.
Dragon, that's why she terrifies me, man. She might be the most disquieting of all the characters. If I'm being
more than Mac's mom.
Mac's mom, I just think is kind of funny. Honestly, I like deadpan humor like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so God, so here's a trope for you. So mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Yep, that is a big trope. You're right about that.
Doing a lot more than that, but we're gonna leave it be there.
Man. Dragon, the mall scene might be the craziest scene of It's Always Sunny I've seen yet. Honestly,
Charlie's mom getting lost in the candy cane forest.
Oh man, oh god.
All right, so. Let's see. So we have okay, so we have this great visual. So, okay, so we're at the Rayham. This is Frank's business that he had with the partner. So it's Reynolds Hamilton. So Rayham. Again, I think I'd like to think a precursor to the Rumham. It's a guess. So we go to the Rayham Christmas party where basically Frank's on board for this whole thing. Like, okay, you want me to overhear everyone, kind of basically Christmas Carol style.
I love how into it Frank is. He's like almost giddy to get into the couch.
Yeah, just sew me into the couch. Wait, sew you into the couch? Wait, yeah, I do it all the time with Charlie. He's like, sew me into the couch when he's pounding out. He's pounding one out. It's just like, what? Why do you want to watch Charlie? He's like, yeah, just sew me in the couch. So they sew him into the back. And I love this detail, okay? This is where it went wrong. It's a leather couch.
Yeah.
Such a terrible idea, putting him in a leather couch.
So I would say this scene is also Dee and Dennis at their most pathetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're just desperately trying to get someone to badmouth Frank. And then even after the horrifying emergence from the couch, all they can think is like, but they called you an asshole, Frank. Did you hear them?
So Frank. Okay, so one, I love the visual that we see, like Frank kind of Han Solo style.
Oh, it's an iconic visual. Yeah.
He's like, first of all, he's like Han Solo. He's like frozen in the couch, like unable to move because he's so crammed in. It's very clear there's a man on the couch. And on the other side of the couch, you have Eugene sleeping.
Yep.
Which is great. Anyway, so. Then we have like the homage to Ace Ventura 2 with the rhino.
You know what the ironic thing with the Eugene thing is that they very easily could have just dropped him off at any point, and what happens in the third act might not have happened. But no,
all they had to do. Oh, by the way,
I would like to think that at least part of why he does what he does is because he's just so fed up with the fucking Reynolds kids being rude to him.
Oh yeah. He hates the whole Reynolds family. We reveal later.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so by the way, I love I love that the way they did this, the way they shot this. It's like it's almost like a pure homage to Ace Ventura 2. When he emerges because he's stuck in the rhino and the AC goes out, so he has to. So basically, he gets birthed by the rhino. In this case, it's like DeVito like sliding out of the couch like a newborn.
Oh God.
So
ZK says, I love the behind the scenes story that Danny just kept stripping at every take until he was just down to his boots.
That is true, yeah. So originally there was like a reluctancy about the nudity when they shot this, And I learned this from the It's Always Sunny podcast, which you should probably watch, Diggy.
Yeah, I should probably get into that. You're right.
Admittedly, it's on hiatus, so you don't have to rush to it. But I mean, they're like in the early seasons, which is kind of where you're at. So Anyway, but yeah, so that's they kind of arrived at that where they kind of realized like, yeah, this is the way to go. It's been a few years since Big Fish, but DeVito still got it.
Okay, I forgot that he bore ass in Big Fish. I will never forget this. All right.
Yeah. This is
Let's just make that perfectly clear.
This is the more iconic one for sure. The other one's more of just like, okay,
this is more Danny DeVito than I ever wanted to see, and I love it.
See, Big Fish is like, okay, you don't need to pan up that far. Oh, Tim! Oh! Right. Like, Tim, come on! He was on Taxi, for God's sake. Tim! Okay, anyway. But yeah, so so DeVito. But I love the fact that Frank is like, you get the idea. He was being in that couch like after like 5 minutes of heat stroke. He's just like, okay, he's not listening to a word that's being said out there, so he didn't hear anyone call him an a-hole.
But again, I just love how fucking desperate and pathetic Dee and Dennis are. Like, did you hear him? Did you hear him, Frank?
Yep.
All right. Okay, what's next?
All right, let's see. Okay, so that, I love it's kind of a rack because this is a longer episode than usual. If you notice, it's always
Sunny it's standards. About 43. It could be 2 episodes stacked together.
I'm pretty sure it was a 2-parter, so that's the thing. It's a 2-parter they kind of spliced together on the streaming. Anyway, so Ricky, let's talk about Ricky Falcone, the long lost son of Carmine Falcone.
I knew you were going to make a Falcone.
How can I not? How many Falcones do you know?
Well, it'd be like me not making an Alan reference.
There you go. At least mine has more of a precedent. Anyway, so Ricky Falcone, this is they show up at this guy's house. He was the owner of the Omnibot, the beloved Omnibot, which by the way is still really cool. Mm-hmm. That was taken. And it's a very cringe moment. Just the whole thing of like, oh no, I love that they pre-program the robot to talk and everything, just to say that to give the apology, but they're not returning the robot. They're just acknowledging.
No, because you're a grown man. The implication being that they are also grown men, but they totally want to keep the robot.
Yeah, I would want to keep the robot too.
Who wouldn't want to keep the robot?
That robot is awesome. Also, I'm going to say it's far cooler looking than the Redman robot.
You mean Rob the robot?
No, not Rob No, I'm saying literally the toy later. It's like it's not called.
Oh
Rob
no, it is far cooler than that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not Rob the robot.
I was going to say, don't you dare insult my robotic.
No, I am not. How dare you, sir? How dare you think I'm insulting an American treasure?
Anyways,
that was probably made in Japan.
That robot literally saved video games.
Yeah. Over time.
No. Well, we don't have time to get into the backstory, Dragon, but he was essential. He was how Nintendo was able to market the NES as a toy and not a video game. People were done with video games, but they weren't done with toys.
You're right.
It was right after the Atari crash.
I love it's like I love putting in stock market terms.
Well, the Atari that was like a thing, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I love that we can kind of refer to it like that because it was, right. But it was it's like the Atari crash. Just great. Anyway,
no, that was the original sell of the NES in the United States, at least, was the fact that it came with the toy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
all right, so. Okay, anyway, so Ricky Falcone, he's not really having it. So the boys, they figure it's a Christmas spirit test of their Christmas spirit, so they're determined to make things right. Ricky Falcone, they're going to go to the mall.
Get him a good shirt, Dragon. How difficult can that be?
They will, because he enters the door just more like a robe and stuff, and he just looks like he looks and he looks not down on his look, but he looks what? He looks what's a rut? He looks like he's in a rut. So anyway, so they want to go to the mall, get a gift for his kid and a new shirt for him or something.
And it just kind of feels like, that's the most wholesome thing they can do, and nothing could possibly go wrong there.
So they bought the shirt, so they got one thing right, and then they go to the toy store and they're looking for Hey, Redmond, what's the highest selling toy of the year? It's Redmond the robot. Okay,
Mhm.
great. We'll take one of those. Sold out. So they're upset by this, and he's like, basically, we have this whole thing where Mac brings up like, what if like a celebrity like Mike Schmidt walked in, and they have no idea. These are very D-lister.
So I like how Mac has like a very miniature freak out that Charlie has to pull him away from,
Uh-huh.
and then only for what's about to happen.
Yep, just Charlie's calm and everything until he sees Santa Claus.
Oh man.
So we have an average mall Santa, nothing wrong there. However, we don't know. Let
It's
Santa
not
Claus
crazy
answer
that he
me.
uses the R word, but I mean, it was a different time, so whatever.
Well, I mean, I think it's less that. It's just more. It's like it's a Philly thing.
No, I get that.
That's the thing. But regardless, the idea of the Santa Claus, though, we don't know that he.
We
Do we
don't know
think
that
he's?
he did it. Yeah, you're right.
I think we don't know that he didn't, because I mean, we saw some old
So I will
Santas.
say this, like, forget all of the serial killer stuff that we've joked about with Dennis. This is probably the single most scary that we have ever seen any of our leads in It's Always Sunny, I think, up until this point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just horror movie shit right here, man.
Yeah, what the way I love the way we shoot this with Charlie. 'Cause Charlie is like he's utterly. I love like the ears are ringing and he's just walking through the crowd and he's just sitting on the lap and staring at him and like, did you f my
Oh, you're a
mom's?
big boy, aren't you?
God, just he's a mentally challenged child and he's like he's trying to chat him up. He says, "Did you f my mom? Wait, what? Did you f my mom?"
Did
Anyways,
you fuck my mom?
the way Charlie Day, does a great job here.
I mean, Charlie, just the best way I can describe this performance right here is just fucking fearless, man. He has no inhibitions at all. He is just giving it 1000% of his energy.
Yeah. So then, well, I guess basically to put it delicately, Luigi chows down on Santa.
Oh, God.
Luigi takes a bite out of Santa's jugular, it seems, or at least tries. He bites his neck and draws blood in front of all the
Yeah.
kiddies. And there's a panic, and Max trying to get him off. And he accidentally like elbows the like a mom of another kid.
Okay, can we talk about that right there? The fact that that mother does not look okay. She looks unconscious.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that the episode kind of glazes over that, but like, no, like if I were in Mac's position, I'd be scared shitless of that.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just a screaming fit of just over and over. Just, did you fuck my mom? Did you fuck my mom? And then just the guttural scream with like the blood-stained teeth. Oh my god, it's crazy.
It's a bloody mess. Here's some tropes. We go to a toy store.
Oh
And
god.
well, it's the hot selling Christmas toy.
Technically, antagonistic mall Santa is a trope.
There you
Technically,
go. Well, here seeing Santa at the
although this
mall.
guy is more antagonized mall Santa, not antagonistic.
Well, just it's a mall Santa. We visit the mall Santa. Because it's very, nothing bad happened there.
What about pandemonium at the mall?
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So after all that, we're at the
I
cemetery.
love how we cut on the shot of the one little girl just crying her eyes out as everyone's running around her.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So we go to the cemetery, and Eugene wants to go home, and we have the whole the third act of a Christmas Carol set up here. So there's a trope for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's fake little cardboard headstones, like with holes dug, just to kind of show, this is your future. This isn't my future. It's just
throw me in the trash.
Throw me in the trash. Change now. They have no patience. Just change now and stop giving us
Okay, what kind of toy could Danny DeVito be in Toy Story 5 who would bond with Forky?
Oh God. Wait, does it have to be a trash toy or like an actual toy?
Well, just someone who could be like, you're trash, Forky, but embrace it.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this at you.
Okay.
What if he were like the a toy that's like you get it like you go to a grocery store, you have like the little coin slot, little coin operator, like one of those.
Oh, okay,
toys.
yeah, like a vending machine toy.
Like
Yeah,
exactly like a vending machine toy. Basically, he's like the most disposable toy that would basically be like, yeah, trash.
There we go.
Like what? Maybe he's the ball.
Life is the trash.
Like either that or he's bowling a cup. He's something.
Ball and cup. I could see that.
He's like something along those, or maybe let's see, or maybe he's the old timey Slinky.
Ooh, I like that too.
Anyway,
like
but no,
about the dog, that I could see that working.
That's what I'm saying. The point being, he'd be a really
and he's all messed up and twisted.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think probably something like disposable, like a disposable vending machine toy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so.
And again, we're getting set up that if Dee and Dennis would just fucking drive this dude home,
all the problems will be solved. And literally, after it all backfires there, he just asks, like, can I go home? This is like, no, you're useless.
Mm-hmm.
And they insult his faith too. Like, they're real mean to you, Gene. They do bring it upon themselves here.
I mean, you know what? You're kind of. I'm gonna kind of co-sign, like, these two are very much kind of like it's almost like them and Frank are kind of like in a Scrooge competition for who can be the bigger dicks. You know what I mean?
There you go.
But it's funny because they think they're in the right, but they're very much not, which is kind of the comedy of the whole show, especially, I would say, in Dennis Reynolds' case.
Yep. It's because there's a very light correlation. The movie Spirited, the whole like just getting ticked off at your Scrooge for not changing, just a little bit,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like, change now. So irritated ghost, I guess, ghost figure in this case.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. So okay. Anyway, so. Point being, like, Frank calls him out and everything. That's kind of where it ends. So, Charlie's still optimistic. They're at the bar. She's like, "Look, we'll give Ricky Falcone the shirt. It's covered in blood, you psycho." So there are a low point.
See that being an obscure Always Sunny in Philadelphia merch item is just Ricky Falcone's shirt, and it is just covered in fake blood.
Good. Well, somewhere if they're doing like a reenactment for Christmas around It's Always Sunny, they're gonna have the D or whoever's playing D wearing the Ricky Falcone shirt. Anyway, so we have the all right. So point being, everyone shows up now. They're all at the bar and they're all very despondent with Christmas. It's a low point. Christmas is a bunch of BS, and then they get a phone call. Tiki, what is the phone call?
The phone call is that Frank is dead.
It's
a Christmas tragedy, Dragon trope.
Yeah. Also, I do love that if you're watching this for the first time and it's the end of the season, I love that there's just for a moment you do wonder.
Because Danny DeVito, it's like, if I remember right, he didn't really want to come on like full time until he actually like got into the rhythm of things.
Yeah.
So yeah. But no, of course. I mean, this show would not be what it is without Frank Reynolds. We've already established that.
All right, so
you can watch that show. It's called Season 1.
So this is I love this. I love that we go to the hospital and Frank's just very casually, very alive. Like they're all thinking like Frank's dead, and it's like, oh hey guys. So it says, hey, I faked my death so you'd visit me. So yep.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So we have this. So Frank reveals the vision that he had, or basically he was driving. The whole thing he was trying to do earlier is he's trying to do like a thing where he can't reach the door to shut it. So he wanted to do like the sandbag, kind of like you pull the wire and it would close the door thing.
Much to Dennis's dismay, Dragon.
You're gonna ruin that car.
You could feel the pain in his voice when he says that.
Yep. Anyway, so he never got around to it. So that means he's been driving this Lamborghini at top speeds with like the door completely open. So hit a patch of ice and he fell out of the car, had a concussion. And while that happened, he had a hallucination.
Oh boy.
Tiki, What was the hallucination?
It was a very Rankin Bass hallucination, I can tell you that much.
Do you know what that is?
It's a trope.
Yes,
Oh my god.
it's a trope.
Specifically like Rankin Bass fantasy sequences, like in the Rankin Bass style. Yeah, it is a trope. It's a pretty specific trope, but it is a trope.
Yeah. Yeah, Home Improvement had one of those.
Did they really? I'm not surprised.
I forget it. I forget if it was Chris. I think it was for Thanksgiving though, which is the heady part.
Oh, okay.
But it was Rankin Bass for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, let's see. Anyway, so basically I guess we should call it Franken Bass.
Oh my god. Of course.
Yeah, so he's the Christmas Grouch. Here he's looking for his Countach, and our fill-in for Hermie the elf. He spits in his face, and basically he shows again. There's a mean-spirited, just kind of like vibe already. He's spitting in his face, and he's walking him.
Well, the spitting in the face literally like sets up the song. Like that's kind of like the cue for the song to start. Yeah,
exactly. So basically. We have this kind of musical summation of what Frank's problem is and what's going to happen to him if he doesn't change. And we have like this guy with the Christmas Grouch hid in a couch.
I love the animation of like the Rankin Bass Charlie just under the blanket dragon, just the up down motion. It's very subtle, but it's there.
Oh yeah, so we're at the bar, and they're all they see all the gifts, all the fake out gifts, and they're gonna tear you apart. So then things take a dark turn, a really dark turn, where basically they're all like what you kind of see in our image here. They're dismembering Frank, gouging out his eyes, blowing up the balloons, and then they rip out his spine.
Most disturbingly violent part of this whole thing is, Dragon?
Is when they put them back together.
No, I was gonna say when they literally like spray mace on his wounds.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because seriously, think about how much that would actually hurt in real life. Spraying mace directly into like open gushing wounds. That would just be the worst.
Well, then they hang him from I think his spine or his intestines on the tree.
Cord, yeah,
the spinal cord on the tree. Like they hang him like an on a tree.
It's pretty gnarly.
See, to me, it's just really dark. Then they take him out. They take him off the tree, and then they put him back together, and then do more horrible stuff to him. And then
and then KKK raisins show up.
Yeah, it's the whole little nod to the California raisins,
right?
Which, I mean, look, they probably didn't. To be fair, they're just raisins, though. But yeah, it didn't really age well.
Well, yeah, just sadly, just because we live in a time where the KKK is like, oh, they're cool, right? Right? Like they're okay again. Says a certain subset of the population that I don't want to get into right now.
Well, what have you actually heard? Did the KKK actually approve of the California raisins?
No, Dragon, I'm talking about now in our current political.
Oh, right. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I was wondering if there's like an obscure, like an actual, like
California raisins thing. It's just that they're also stop motion characters.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. That's why they're referenced. I know. I'm just saying. I wonder because I never thought about them getting a backlash. Which I mean, I could imagine them getting a backlash, but I never really
Dumbo Crow style.
Yeah.
That's
the thing is that's what initially that's what I thought they were referencing. But I mean, I know it's mainly that because there's stop motion ads. Anyway, so Frank's being dismembered and torn apart and everything, and it's not going to end well for him if he treats people like crap. So
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Frank so he basically summarizes the story there.
Yeah.
So he's changed.
Z&K just says racist singing raisins.
Also, bottomless elves again. I didn't say the elf had no pants. All right, I'm still thinking of something else.
That is a good gag, though. That Charlie is still in his own headspace. It's been a weird day, man. I'm sorry. All right. Z&K is saying, I'm just now realizing all the leads of Always Sunny have done animation voice work.
Mm-hmm.
Max the only outlier. Community definitely had a Rankin Bass episode. Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Teddy says, imagine a collab between the South Park guys and the main Always Sunny writers. Yeah, I would love that. Dragon's not really a South Park fan, but I would love that. All right.
You know what you'd call it?
South Philly.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, so Dragon, let's get us to our Act 3 here.
All right, so Frank's now a changed man. They all say "F Frank," and they're getting there. It's too late. They tell Frank to go F himself, and they decide to, like, we should. The moral here is like Christmas spirit is really just us sticking together versus like relying on our
I do
parents.
like that through that hyper violence, they do actually manage to get a good moral out of it.
Yeah. Like, we all came together and we dismembered Frank. Obviously, we're not going to do that here, but that's something. We all banded together versus the patriarchy. All right, so we have this. They have this conversation about a tree, and this is kind of a nice little walk and talk conversation here. Is it too late to get a tree? Well, it's Christmas Eve, and they're all like, get like all these fir trees. I can't stand them. It'd be nice to have something like kind of nice, like an orange tree, Yeah, like put oranges on it. Yeah. Dee's wearing the bloody shirt. So the gang, again, trying to show some Christmas spirit, they're caroling, but at 4 a.m. on actually Christmas.
Which I'm not sure at 4 a.m, but definitely seen that before.
True. Right. So the caroling is not well received, and Ricky Falcone, he ain't having any of this, and he and his neighbors are like throwing bottles at him. And Dennis's car gets towed. It's again, he already lost the Lambo, and now his car's been towed. It's a horrible Christmas.
Dennis hasn't lost he hasn't gained the Lambo yet. Yeah. I guess you could say.
That's what I mean. He isn't,
Right.
So then it's Christmas morning. They head back to the bar, and the bar is decorated. We already mentioned kind of our Scrooge, but we have Christmas train village. Got a snowblower. We got,
and I'm not gonna lie, the train village is I'm a sucker for a good Christmas train village, and this one's a really cool one.
As am I, friend.
But no, I do think that before the actual twist, I do think the notion of Frank and this guy like getting together, setting their differences aside, and doing something nice, for the gang. I think it's a nice gesture, and it's genuinely kind of heartwarming. Of course, knowing what this show is, I knew that this wasn't gonna last, Dragon. I knew something was gonna go awry. I knew Dennis wasn't gonna get to keep that Lambo, but it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah.
Let's see. Teddy says, I feel like Always Sunny and South Park have a similar humor, but South Park is more focused on the offensive humor, and Sunny is more focused on the dark humor. Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I also think that keep in mind, I'm not up to date with Sunny, so I haven't really seen the seasons where they're tackling the current day issues, although, they've done stuff like the recession and stuff before. But I think South Park's whole thing is social commentary, and Sunny's whole thing is definitely the dark and the debaucherous. Just how twisted can they get it? So yeah, I see what you're saying.
I know you'd love the episode about the Tesla.
Oh boy.
Oh god, the episode about the Tesla.
All right. Something to look forward to. Okay, so yes, it's a Christmas miracle. Everyone gets what they wanted. Dragon, I gotta tell you, man, just Dennis getting the Lambo for the brief bit that he does get it, it is genuinely kind of heartwarming.
Yep. Imagine how Joshua Thomas would play that scene.
Oh God.
But yes, it's beautiful. Everything's like the boys got their robot. Like everyone got, he got the bag, and he says, "I'll pay for the dry clean, like the cleaning of it." It's like, oh man, everything's coming up Millhouse. And then seemingly they're about to deliver like a nice little Christmas moral in there. Say, hey, we're sorry we didn't take you home, buddy. Sorry we kind of were rude to you.
Yeah, that was their downfall. That
Yep.
right there.
Eugene will remember this.
Right.
So he shows up, and I love the Lambo had a boat on it too, by the way. Anyway, so it's an awesome
cars like that is a trope.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
So anyway, so Eugene pulls out a gun and he robs them all.
Right. I love how Charlie's like, I don't even know you, man.
That remind me, he didn't let him keep the robot, right? He took the robot.
No, nothing is kept. Absolutely nothing.
The fact that he took the robot's so cruel to me. I don't even know you, man. I love this. He's just saying, I don't even know who you are.
Right.
All right. Anyway, so he's ticked off because they left him at the graveyard. Didn't take him home. Made fun of his faith, and he's had it up to here. Frank stole his money. He's left him in an apartment to rot, so he steals everything, but leaves him with a white Christmas. So the snowblower activates inside the bar. It's just utter.
With some really cool stunt work, I might add.
Yeah, nice stunt work.
Danny DeVito just goes flying.
Also, White Christmas.
Indeed.
Both the song
in its own right.
Both the song and the snow.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I love he's saying like ho 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 as he leaves.
All right. So after that, what's the wrap up?
Well, the wrap up is there's one tradition they have left. It's Christmas. It's the day of Christmas. Everything else has gone horribly. What's the one thing they can do to get into the spirit? Well, they throw rocks at a train.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, train at Christmas. They're throwing rocks. It's still, in a sense, they got the Christmas train.
Right.
We have three. We have a couple different Christmas trains. We have a couple different Christmas trains here. We have a Christmas train on Charlie's mom. We have the Christmas train village, and we have the actually throwing rocks at the train.
All right. So yeah, this does end in a pretty heartwarming way with young Mac and Charlie. That kind of flashback that kind of brings everything full circle. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, final thoughts. I think it's really interesting that Sunny went about a little less than half their run without doing a Christmas special. And when they did it, they went all out. They made it a double-length episode. They got some mixed multimedia in there. Frank is Scrooge is just perfect. One of the most memorable sight gags in all of the show, I've got to think. So yeah, I think this is a hit, Dragon. I definitely think this is among the best that we've covered. Like I said, I think the highlights this year we have, obviously Fishes is way more on the dramatic side of things. And then we have the Frasier episode, which is kind of like sort of the comedy meeting the pathos. And this is just pure comedy and debauchery, and it's classic in its own right.
Yep, I gotta be honest to you. I've always contemplated bringing up this episode to you. I was always afraid like, oh, he's not gonna like this one.
Well, I mean, I feel like I like it a lot more now that I've actually built myself up to it. The timing just happened to work out that I was on this season when we went into July.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Yeah, Teddy. Teddy says they were like, okay, fine. We'll do the Christmas episode, but we'll fucking go for it. No half measures.
It all worked out.
Uh-huh.
Made Christmas history.
All right, final thoughts? Yeah, for the most Danny DeVito ass in a Christmas episode.
Also, just remind the folks again, we still got one more left.
One more. Let's just say it's very relevant with a certain something that people are talking about right now. You can probably guess what it is if you're in the know.
Yep.
All right. So, Dragon, do you have final thoughts on this one?
No, I already kind of gave my final thoughts.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so big thanks to Z and K, Teddy, Little Blue. I believe Code Geass was here, was he not?
Yeah. Yes.
I do not.
At the top.
Right at the very start. Right at the very start. All right.
Little Blue, Code Geass, Z and K, and Teddy.
All right. Big thanks to you guys. We cannot do it without you. Trope time.
Well, oh boy, where to start?
Ooh, I've got a fun one that we didn't even really think about, but it totally ties in.
What?
Christmas burglars.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Little
Grinch.
Blue, there's one left. Just a singular one left.
Yep.
All right, Rankin Bass, as you already mentioned, just using Rankin Bass style for fantasy sequences and whatnot.
Some holiday Grinches.
Obviously, we've got Danny DeVito is the full blown Scrooge here. Probably one of the most well defined Scrooges we've had in a couple seasons. Dragon. It's been a while since we've had like a really well defined Scrooge.
Well, I mean, we saw him naked, for God's sake. Of course he's.
Oh God.
Anyway, Christmas
drama
train
around the holidays, of course.
Christmas trains.
Yes.
In general, Christmas apparel and decorations and
White Christmas.
Yep, snowblower.
Panic at the Mall.
Yep, Mall Santa.
Mall Santa, indeed.
Toy Store Christmas, the coveted Christmas gift.
yes. Coveted Christmas gift. Absolutely. Can't forget that.
Yep. Let's see. Pulling out a Christmas Miracle. I'm gonna say Christmas Miracle. I just mean the whole, like, when you walk in at the last second, there's like the big Christmas party, or like, we've the last minute Christmas.
Dragon, basically, we pull it's kind of funny how Frasier has a couple things in common with this episode, but Frasier does it very earnestly, and this just shits all over it.
Oh, yeah. Christmas traditions, just in general. There's a lot of Christmas tradition talk throughout this.
Sure.
Let's see. Gingerbread houses.
And gingerbread men for my gingerbread boy.
Well, boys, for both of them.
Right.
Let's see. Christmas flashbacks.
I would kind of put that under Christmas trauma, but
yeah. You're right. Never mind. I forget what I said. Christmas Carol revenge plot, just the Christmas Carol stuff in general.
Like, essentially weaponizing the concept of Christmas Carol. Yeah, that's
exactly.
it. I could see that.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else major we need to. Quest for Christmas Spirit. There you go.
Yeah. All right. I think we got it.
That was a lot of tropes, man. I tell you, I'm so sick and tired of the fact that we still don't have a name for this. What do we call this process, man? It just feels like it's staring us right in the face. It feels like there's like a device.
It's like it's staring us right in the face in the same way that Jack Skellington is staring at that mistletoe that's underneath the microscope.
I mean, no joke.
Wait a minute.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
Okay, so that thumbnail, we got Jack Skellington, right? And he's staring, he's staring right at that microscope. And if I'm remembering correctly, in this scene, there's some mistletoe underneath the microscope.
It's more than just a catalog image. It's an idea.
Oh, God. I hope you folks like this sketch that we do every year. Okay, so yes, indeed, Dragon. We are putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope.
I like it. Cut, print, check to get moving on.
Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
la la la la la la.
Throw me in the trash.
Did you hear him, Frank? He called you an asshole.
No.